Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here, my next Legend of Korra Book 3 Change episode commentary. This one's going to be for K311, The Ultimatum. Now, to sync up your copy of the episode with this commentary track, what you need to do is have the episode ready to start with the opening of the episode, of every episode of Korra, the whole Kyoshi, Fire, Earth, Fire, Air, Water bit. I'm going to stop speaking now in a moment, and then when I come back from that pause, you hit play, I'll hit play, and we'll be both synced up with the commentary track. So I'm going to stop speaking now, hit play when I speak again. Okay, so here we are with The Ultimatum, episode 11 of Book 3 Change. I think this is a pretty good episode. Again, it's got some pretty memorable moments towards the end. I believe this is the episode with the Tenzin Zahir fight. Kaya Mingwaz is there as well. Bumi gets into a fight with Gazan. There's some definitely memorable moments here, and as I said in the last commentary, the death of the Earth Queen and just the fact that our villains are willing to go that far really adds a lot of intensity to the series going forward whenever the villains are involved, and that they are willing to kill to basically make their goals a reality. So that's definitely a big thing, and I remember a lot of emotional reactions to the end of this episode with the apparent death of Tenzin, but he obviously survives. But we see Bossing saying chaos, and it's one of these things where, like, you see the guards immediately abandon their posts, and everyone's looting everywhere. All the royal artifacts are taken, which is set up for the fact that Prince Wu has to basically have a brooch as the thing that signifies him as the remaining member of the royal family. But airships are being taken, and Mako and Bolin need one to get out of the place. It's a really interesting dynamic just seeing this place in absolute chaos, and I suppose how that really isn't, it shows the bad part of kind of what Zahir is going for, and that this isn't going to work. That as much as he thinks that that's the way for true freedom, this is just chaos. It's not true freedom. This helps people who are willing to stoop as low to steal all of this stuff, but what about the people who don't want to steal and stuff like that? They're in an even worse position because of this. And yeah, together they managed to fly this thing out of the place, which is definitely interesting. Nearly killing everyone. And Bossing Say in flames. That's how bad things have gotten. It's one of those things where, like, it wasn't just that people were robbing things; like, things were being burned. People's families were at risk, and I like how they show this through Mako and Bolin's family. They're not the type of family to go out and steal stuff and stuff like that, but they're the ones in danger because of what some of the other people are doing. The situations that here has put Bossing Say in that their kind of apartment building is in danger, and again, this other dynamic of Grandma Yin doesn't want to leave because this is her home, and she wants to stay here regardless of what's happening. And Bolin has a really nice line here that helps Grandma Yin to kind of understand the situation and get out of the place. She's been very stubborn here. This is a place where she raised her family and where she grew up. It doesn't matter where you go, if you have your family, that is home. And then she still doesn't agree with it, but he just takes her anyway, and she eventually agrees, but she wants her photo of Queen Hu Ting with her. And yeah, you just see the family escape, and now Mako and Bolin are with their family all on the airship together, and they're going to search for Korra and Asami on the way back. And just kind of reuniting the crew before the big final episodes. And Grandma Yin thinks that the airship is her home. Always putting that picture up everywhere. And that's kind of the one real confirmation that she died. Like, that even though they didn't announce it over the radio that the Earth Queen is dead, Grandma Yin just saying may she rest in peace is the confirmation, like, oh, yeah, she actually did die there. Yeah, they're just looking for the wreckage to try and find them, and the whole family is kind of helping out. You see the kind of just the somber mood of the place. Just with them, they obviously had to flee their home, and they really have no idea what's happening next. They don't really know where they're going to live. They're on the airship for now, but the immediate future is obviously tough for all these people. But they eventually come to live in Sammy's mansion. And this leads them all to the Misty Palms Oasis and the reunion. There's Druk. Once again. Always cool just to see dragons around the place. Like, we didn't really get to see them that much in Avatar The Last Airbender, but just seeing that, like, Zuko has one. It's basically a pet dragon, so you get to see it a bit more. It's really cool. And that's them basically seeing spirits for the first time, because apart from maybe a few spirits that maybe floated in over the walls, like, when would the people of Boston say have ever seen spirits? It's an interesting situation. Yeah, he doesn't notice that Pabu's there, but he is there. And they don't know about Pabu because they never met him. I'm just noticing that spirit in the background there. That's just kind of like got two propeller bits, two like leaves as propellers on the side. It's really interesting. And they're terrified of this polar bear dog, which, you know, is a vicious animal when you just think about polar bear dog, but it's basically more of a dog than a polar bear, and that's interesting. And the reunion happens. And, you know, Mako forgets about the awkwardness for a second and is just happy to see Korra again, but then the awkwardness comes back. But you kind of see that he's getting more comfortable again being around the two girls. Zuko. I think everyone was just waiting for this moment where one of the new crew just freaks out over Zuko, and this is it. I love that Spo Lane, just like, he's a huge Team Avatar fan. He's just like, Zuko. And here's just the jokes and stuff like that. Just like, Mako, why don't you date one of these nice girls? And it's just awkward and stuff like that. Muscular for a woman. Thanks, you too. There's some nice dialogue definitely here. And here they're going to finally reveal what the ultimatum is. And that's it. It's just, he is going to wipe out the new Air Nation unless Korra turns herself in. That is how far he's willing to go to capture Korra. That he's willing to do something that, you know, for a guy who's all about freedom, isn't really promoting his idea much, to really just get Korra and take out someone who's not even technically a world leader. So it just shows how desperate they are to get this done. And then we come back to Zaofu. A lot of, you know, quick traveling happening here as we approach the finale. Things are starting to get intense. The build up to the finale is definitely happening right now. And obviously Sue's worried about Opal, who has just recently left in the last couple of episodes to go to the Northern Air Temple, even though we haven't seen any of her really in action yet. We haven't seen her with Tenzin. No one's answering. And it's a really intense moment when he finally does answer. You know, I think Milo arrives first, and then Tenzin gets on, and then as they're on the phone, over the radio, Tenzin realizes that the Red Lotus are here already. It's a super intense moment. Grandma Yin, always good for a laugh in this season. I really like that. Just, I'm gonna take a nap. It's like, great, thanks. Korra tries to go in the spirit world to talk to Zahir, but I almost forgot that this actually happened in this book. But it's actually a really cool moment. Just the Korra gets some advice about what to do from Iroh, and then goes straight out to Zuko, and then she inadvertently kind of reveals to Zuko that, hey, your uncle is in the spirit world. You can go to the portals and go see him. But yeah, I forgot about Iroh kind of being in the book until now. It's so great to see Iroh every single time. Every single time he turns up, he's just so wise, and there's just that voice. You know, it's Greg Baldwin now, not Mako, but still the voice is just very memorable. And yeah, she doesn't have any of the past avatars to get advice from. So who is she? Who else is she going to get advice from? And then the Zuko and Aang stuff. I love this. And she's like, hey, wait, I can get advice from Zuko since he advised Aang. Little Rocky, that's one way of putting it. Lifelong friends. And yeah, she's gonna go talk to Zuko. We're finally gonna get like a full-on conversation between Zuko and Korra. Dragon. And yeah, basically this is Zuko's basically exit from the series. He's going to protect Izumi. We later find out the Fire Lord. Makes sense. That's why he's not involved in the fight at the end. But definitely, it's just like, oh, here's the last ordered White Lotus involvement in the book gone. Aang's Council. What would Aang do in this situation? I kind of like that she asks it in that way. Like, what would Aang do compared to what would I do? He would do anything to protect it. It's just a kind of like, this was Aang's dream, just being able to have his people back, and Aang would do anything to save that. And so Korra literally does do anything to save that. She nearly gets killed trying to do her big sacrifice moment in this book. I like how she said that. She's like, oh, you talked to my uncle? When did this happen? Spirit World. Zuko's just like, I could have talked to him this whole time. And I'd love a little side story in like the comics or something like that, when Zuko like goes to the northern or southern spirit portal, or maybe through the Republic City portal now, and just gets to meet Iroh. That would be a really great conversation. Random side story talk between Bolin and Milo. And then yeah, I love how kind of the relationship that kind of Korra has with the Air Kids, how like between her and Milo it's more of a commanding officer type thing. And here it is, here's that scene I was talking about earlier on. Their music kind of getting more and more intense. Oh no, they're already there. And now we cut over and it's more Airbender focus for the rest of this episode pretty much. He's here. And yeah, we get to see some awesome fighting action for the rest of this episode. And just with so many new airbenders, they're more of a team now, but still, they're no match for these guys. This is going to be mainly escaping with or the older characters being involved in the fights. So, yep, some pretty important action happening here, and I'm just remembering a lot of the stuff now, like the whole Kai nearly dying thing happens later on, and Jinora thinks he's dead, and that's a really tragic moment. So yeah, there's some pretty crazy stuff that happens in this episode. Gazan is here. Still don't know what the tattoos are about, or much about him, but he's a good lava bender. There's Minghua, and look, Opal's next involvement in the series after joining the Airbender group. Oh, she's captured. Just like, oh, I wish we had a scene with her just being with the other Airbenders and like getting to introduce to them, training a little bit. But yeah, everyone's captured straight away, and then the kind of fight back happens. It's interesting that they didn't just have the fight happen and then they're captured, but they're captured and then the fight happens. This was a change up from what you would usually expect. Awesome. Tenzin moment is awesome. Just like big blast on basically all of the Red Lotus members except for Pali, and I like the kind of tactics of the Red Lotus, and that they have Pali just up there on the airship circling around, just like deadly explosions just can hit you from out of nowhere while you're focusing on the more close combat fighters. It's really impressive. You see that throughout this whole episode from here on out, just the involvement. Here we go, Kaya, Tenzin, and Bumi. Basically, the Catan kids against the Red Lotus minus Pali, while Pali more deals with the escapees and keeping them away. From the Sky Bison, and the Sky Bison flee, and there's the focus on Kai's face there. You know he's going to make the big sacrifice to make things happen. And yeah, here we go, Airbender on Airbender fight. We don't really get this that often. This is like the first time we really see it. Just getting to see a fight with meaning between two Airbenders. It's very impressive. Just getting to see the two different styles, like proper airbending against a guy who's good at martial arts who also happens to know some airbending. And just Tenzin's moves flow into each other better. While Zahir's acrobatics are impressive, a lot of his moves aren't flowing directly into the next one. While Tenzin's kind of his bagua motion, circle walking, really makes everything flow together, and he gets these kind of combo moves in. Him dodging immediately goes into an attack. It's very impressive. And then Kaya versus Minghua. Again, it's kind of more like experience versus the kind of more powerful character. Kaya doing some very clever moves, but Minghua clearly has the advantage. And as well as that, the Catan kid siblings are much older in terms of their age than the Red Lotus characters, so that adds to that as well. That especially Kaya and Bumi, they're much older than these characters. First look at Minghua Octopus form, Super Mode. Kind of very anime moments, just like this is my next form, but kind of flows nicely together. That would make sense that she can control more than just two arms. And you see Bumi's unique style of airbending, where you can see that he is kind of an older character, still fairly new to airbending, but he does some very unique moves, very clever. Like this move here is pretty awesome. Just crazy slide between the legs and then hop on the back. Chokehold and hair pulling action. And then he gets hit. And then you just see Tenzin's beatings are here, but these two are losing their fights and they're at risk. But then it's going to be the rest of the Red Lotus against Tenzin. And here's Kai's big moment. And I like that it's kind of been leading to this, that he was kind of this solo character. He'd always do stuff only for himself. And it leads up to his big moment in the series being him doing stuff for other people completely, putting himself on the line for others. So I like that that's a really nice culmination of a intense emotional moment for his character in in this season, since we don't get a lot on him in book 4, really. And yeah, he's dodging police blasts fairly effectively, but eventually gets too much to handle. Here we go. Really intense moment. He blocks the blast with airbending, as you see there, but still a super powerful explosion, and just like, ooh, that look on Janora's face when Kai is falling down. It's a tough one to see, just because it's just like you get the sense that these two were, they're joking that they're boyfriend and girlfriend, but realistically that's the case at this moment in time. They basically start their relationship pretty soon after this, and just like, whoa, Kai just died as far as Janora is aware, and here Kaya and Bumi, as far as a lot of characters are aware, nearly die here. Well, the Red Lotus think they killed them, but they survive, obviously. And it's just a crazy sacrifice. You either get blown up or like fall down a mountain and possibly survive. It's what a decision, and they made the right one ultimately. But wow, they get injured, and this is one of the big advancements I think in Korra. You see a lot more battle damage characters, especially in the later seasons. And then here back to the major fight, most equal fight I think. And Tenzin is literally about to deliver us the final blow, I suppose, until Pli now has dealt with the escapees, can focus all her attention on Tenzin as the other two guys, done with their fights, also come back into play. And it's Tenzin's last stand moment, and does an amazing job here, managing to basically take out two of them before the other two can take him out, and all leads up to this moment where you think, they just killed Tenzin in between episodes. Wow. As long as I'm breathing, it's not over. Like, those sound like final words, especially with what they do here and the way the episode kind of ends with just... The episode ends with a cutaway, as you see here, and just them pummeling him with bending. And just like, they have to kill him, and I almost wish that was the end of the episode, as opposed to this Kai moment where, oh, Kai's alive, that maybe could have reversed those scenes, but still, Kai and Lefty here. It's just so cool to see like a kind of younger character flying a small bison. It looks so different than Aang flying Appa, but still very cool episode, definitely very intense, dramatic, lots of great fight moments, and really good setup, I think, for the final 2 episodes. But yeah, that's been my commentary for the Ultimatum. I'll probably have the commentary for Enter the Void episode 12 out tomorrow, and on Saturday it's the 10-year anniversary of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Avatar starting, basically, so I'll have a video about that on Saturday, and yeah, so I'll try and maybe get episode 13 out on Sunday, but either way, the commentaries for book 3 should be finished in the next couple of days, and then I'll jump straight into book 4 commentaries. But yeah, other than that, that's been the commentary. Thanks for listening, and bye.